Reb Nachman of Breslov, an early Hasidic master, believed in the importance of meditation. He advised his followers to engage in what he termed hitbadadut, which literally means self-seclusion. For Rabbi Nachman, hitbadadut was the highest form of worship. We can imagine Rabbi Nachman alone on a narrow path into the forest. There among the flowers and the trees, he would find a contentment and sense of peace like none other. A moment of hitbadadut, of reflection, which brought to him, as it can for us, a clear understanding of our personal goals and desires, with a sense of closeness and at oneness with our spiritual core. Expressed so beautifully in song by Debbie Friedman of blessed memory.
That even while we may find ourselves alone and feeling isolated when we're in pain, or feeling ecstatic because we're happy, we have the option to look at nature and at life and at the creations around us, even at the snow, and recognize God as a partner. This is Reb Nachman's prayer, "You are the one." You are the one, for this I pray, that I may have the strength to be alone, to see the world, to stand among the trees and all the living things, that I may stand alone and offer prayers and talk to you. You are the one to whom I do belong, and I'll sing my soul, I'll sing my soul to you.
As we say together, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one.
My coming I pray, and send their life into my heart.
Reb Nachman would often say, Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tsar ma'od, va'ikar lo lefakeh.
The whole world is a very narrow bridge. The main thing is to not let your fears keep you from getting involved in the challenging places your life takes you to. The Rebbe is speaking of how life is made up of a progression of challenges. Daily we confront the need to find the courage to face our fears of getting through these narrow places. Hopefully we take the small steps, faltering as they may be, to begin the journey. We need the courage to move out of our comfort zone and risk exploring the unknown. We need the courage to challenge that which keeps us from living our dreams, hopes, and the future we wish to enjoy, not only for ourselves, but to preserve as our legacy for future generations. But sometimes it happens that the bridge becomes too narrow, leaving us feeling lost and adrift, unable to cross over and touch the world of our dreams. Even then, Rabbi Nachman urges faith and courage to preserve what remains of the broken fragments of our dreams. Even when the bridge appears too weak to carry us and the future seems hopeless, Reb Nachman insists on the courage to find hope. A story is told of a king who had a son, his pride and joy, his promise of tomorrow. Each day, father and son would ride the fields, fish the streams, and swim the ponds of the palace. The king's heart was full. Nothing more of life could he ask. It came time for the young prince to marry, and the king set out to build a chuppah for that wedding day. By his own hand and design did he craft the canopy for his son and bride. But then something happened to the prince. We don't know what. We only know that there was no wedding. Was the prince critically injured while riding with his father? Was there harm that came to the prince from illness or some evil source? The storyteller never says. All we know is that the king takes to the royal courtyard, heartsick, filled with grief, anger, and disappointment, and smashes to pieces the chuppah, built for the wedding that never is to be. Inconsolable, sitting atop the chuppah's broken branches, the king demands that his servant bring him the sharpest of knives. Slowly he raises the knife, checks the sharpness against his thumbnail, and with tear-stained eyes, he begins to carve and shape one of the poles of the chuppah. The king does not rest nor take refreshment until he is done with the carving. It is only then that he drops the knife, and using every ounce of energy left within his body, he raises the fragment of the chuppah to his lips, making a sound that penetrates the hearts of all in the kingdom. Rebuild, O king, rebuild, the musical instrument from the fragment of the chuppah says, for who but you will dream? Who will remember? Who on a lonely bridge will find the courage to cross over? And so we too, in moments of our grief and disappointment, ask, where in this is the source of our hope? Not in the storm, nor in the shaking earth, nor in the fire, but only within us. As we say together, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one.